I have a serious question for you. Am I the asshole for attending an AA meeting and not telling a woman I'm not an alcoholic? I, Michael, 33, have a sister, Jenna, who has struggled with alcoholism for years. She's been working hard on her recovery, attending AA meetings regularly, and always talks about how much strength and comfort she gets from the group. I'm not an alcoholic, but I've always been curious about the meetings and what goes on there. I wanted to understand what she was experiencing, and maybe get some insight into the culture, the processes, and how anonymity and support work within the group. One day, I decided to attend an AA meeting just to see what it was all about. I didn't speak or introduce myself, I just sat quietly in the back, listening to people share their stories. 3 things stood out to me during the meeting. The people were honest and vulnerable at the same time. I was blown away by how open and honest everyone was. People shared their darkest moments, regrets, and fears without judgment. The level of vulnerability was incredible, and it was clear that this was a safe space for them to lay everything out. The sense of community was huge, the camaraderie was palpable. Everyone was supportive, encouraging, and genuinely rooting for each other. It was clear that this wasn't just a group of people. It was a community that genuinely cared about one another's success and well-being. The support and anonymity aspects really impressed me. The respect for anonymity was something I found really inspiring. There was a strong emphasis on keeping what was shared in the room within the room. This environment allowed people to speak freely, knowing they were protected by a shared trust. After the meeting, they had a small snack table set up, and I decided to stick around for a bit. As I was grabbing a snack, a woman named Abigail approached me. She introduced herself and mentioned she'd been sober for 20 years and was now a sponsor in the program. She was incredibly kind, and we got to talking. Abigail invited me to come back, so I did. I found her company enjoyable and I liked being around her. We started meeting up after the meetings for coffee or dinner. Eventually, Abigail offered to be my sponsor, jokingly saying she'd keep me in line. I playfully asked, "Can you date your sponsor?" Not thinking much of it, she laughed, and from there our connection deepened into more than just a friendship. I never explicitly told Abigail that I was an alcoholic, but I never claimed to be either. The topic of my drinking habits just never really came up, and since she wasn't actually my sponsor, it didn't feel like a pressing issue to disclose. I was just a guy who enjoyed spending time with her. Things came to a head when Abigail finally met my family. We were at a family gathering and someone handed me a beer without a second thought. I took it, and that's when everything exploded. Abigail's face turned white. She looked horrified and immediately started berating my family, saying how they were enabling me and showing no respect for my sobriety. Jenna, my sister, was there, and as an alcoholic herself, she quickly stepped in, confused and wanting to know what was going on. Abigail explained, thinking she was defending me from a family that didn't understand my struggles. Jenna's face fell, and she immediately asked me if I'd been pretending to be an alcoholic. I tried to explain that it wasn't like that at all. I'd gone to that first meeting out of curiosity, and ended up meeting Abigail, someone I genuinely liked. I never thought of myself as deceiving anyone, especially since I never said I was in recovery. Jenna was livid. She accused me of playing with Abigail's emotions and using the meetings as a place to meet women, which wasn't true at all. Abigail felt blindsided, and I get that. She thought she was dating someone who understood her world and had been through similar struggles, only to find out I wasn't part of that community at all. I tried to explain that I wasn't trying to mislead anyone. I just didn't think my drinking habits were relevant since we'd never really discussed it. I liked Abigail, and that's what mattered to me. Now my sister won't talk to me, and Abigail wants nothing to do with me. She feels betrayed, and my intentions are being questioned from all sides. So am I the asshole for not telling Abigail that I'm not an alcoholic?